So in this video, I wanna make it raw and real, and I wanna talk about the truth about the relapse rate and just how staggeringly high it is. And the truth of the matter is that the relapse rate amongst any substance, it really doesn't matter what it is about 95%. And if you don't believe me, just go to any Alcoholics Anonymous group or ask someone that's a part of it, which I have friends that are leaders of AA groups and other addiction groups, and they will say you that the success rate of people that come to the meetings and can stay, not only get clean, but stay clean, is less than 5%. And in fact, I have a friend who's been a leader of AA for over 20 years, and he's told me that the success rate, the long-term success rate, is probably about 1%. And weed has one of the highest relapse rate out of any substances because of the fact that you can smoke it for the rest of their life and it's not going to destroy your liver, your teeth aren't going to be falling out. The consequences are a lot less severe than a lot of harder things. So I want you to think about that. Let's just be moderate, and let's just say that it's a 5% relapse rate. That means that out of every 100 people that come onto my videos and they comment saying, oh, I just made it 30 days. That means that 95% of them will end up going back to smoking weed as a daily habit. And I know this because I get emails all the time from people who've gone the distance. They've gone a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and then all of a sudden they've relapsed, and it's in their back where they started. They feel defeated, and they're emailing me just trying to get some words of encouragement. And I get it. I have been there, and so I know that just because somebody says they've made it a week, 2 weeks, 30 days, they're feeling great. That the chance of them relapsing and going right back to being a daily pothead is extremely high. And the reason why, the ultimate reason why, is because we live such a comfortable life, and most people don't have the discipline to self-impose suffering on themselves on a daily basis. Most people don't have the discipline to get up every single morning and work out, exercise first thing in the morning. That's why I'm a big proponent of getting up, working out first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, imposing that suffering on yourself first thing in the morning. Because then after that, the rest of your day is going to go better. But we live in a day and age where everything is so easy. It's so easy to just skate by day to day without having any real problems coming your way. And I'm talking about problems like we used to have a long time ago in the past, where an animal was trying to kill you. You were running out of food. You and your family, your tribe was going to die. There was a drought. Another village was trying to overtake you. Those types of our problems in our day and age, especially if you live in the United States or any other kind of country, that's similar to the United States, our problems are a joke. I mean, seriously, if you think about it, having depression or anxiety or any kind of mental condition, a gluten intolerance, those are a privilege to have those kind of conditions compared to somebody that is starving, that is about to die of thirst. And yeah, we live in, and that's the reality. They would love to just have depression as their main problem, or anxiety, or or insomnia. When you're dying, you're about to die of thirst. They would love to. I guarantee you, those people would love to trade problems with you. So with that being said, I get it. I live in this, in this world as well, where everything is simple, and that's why so many people are so soft today, because life is so easy. Life is, we have everything we want. We can just drive, get some food, we got everything. Our problems comparatively are not that bad. So what do we do about it then? Then you have to consistently self-impose suffering on yourself. And in fact, it is said that suffering is the birth of consciousness. Suffering, the birth of consciousness comes from suffering. Some of the greatest pleasures you will ever experience in your life will come from self-imposed suffering. And I'm not talking about cutting your finger off, something like that. I'm talking about suffering that is pushing you to grow physically, mentally, spiritually stronger. Suffering from exercising, suffering from doing a juice fast for a couple of days, suffering from doing what is required when you don't feel like it. And see, this is the deal. This is the reality, is that after years of taking the easy path, of seeking happiness in the place that we lost it, and doing that over and over again, what happens is you create these strong neural pathways in your mind. And I get it. For years I did this. I was always seeking happiness in the same place I lost it. Drugs. One drug is another. I'll break one drug just to create an addiction to something else. And what it becomes is it's not necessarily the addiction, it's the habit, it's the addiction to seeking happiness in the same fucking place that you lost it. And that's never gonna, trying to find happiness in the same place that you lost it is never going to work. Instead of seeking externally to find happiness, taking a substance, you gotta go within, which is very difficult to do. And how to do that, one of the best ways to do that is start to remove so many comforts and pleasures from your life. When you may be pushing yourself in the gym, pushing yourself in the physical, and then all of a sudden you get to a level where that workout that you've been doing for a long time, it becomes easy. And you have a choice. You can either stay there, or you can add some more adversity onto that to push you to the next level. And that's how we grow. The universe doesn't like vacuums. You're either growing or you're dying. So if you're staying at the same level, you're actually going down. You don't realize that. And that's why you always have to self-impose suffering into your life, pushing yourself to get stronger, because those old neural pathways are so strong from the decades of seeking happiness in the same place that you lost it. Those neural pathways are so fucking strong that all of a sudden you get caught in a weak moment, you slip up and you take action on using a substance, and next thing you know, you're right back right where you started. You think you're safe just because you made it a couple of months, but you got to look at this as a marathon, not just a quick sprint. That's a big problem. People think that they made it 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and they think that they're good. It takes a long time to rewire the brain. It takes years to successfully rewire the brain. I used to deal drugs for 7 years. Most of the people that I dealt with to this day are either dead or in prison. And I'm talking about my partners, the people who were dealers along with me. And I have friends who went to prison, been in there a long time, gotten out, and I've talked to them, and it's interesting. I've heard these stories time and time again that when you do time in prison, that the first couple of years it's a mind trip, that you're just bugging out, but all of a sudden something happens around year 3 to 4, that all of a sudden your mind just flips over and you forget about the street life. You forget about going out to dinner, chasing girls, whatever. You forget, and your life becomes that prison. And this is real. You can look this up online and research into prison situation story. People have been in there a long time, and they'll tell you those first couple of years you're fantasizing, you're missing, the holidays, all these things like that. But all of a sudden, after a couple of years, 3-4 years, something happens, and this new place becomes your life. So what does this have to do with all of this? What I'm saying is that this is a great illustration of how long it takes to completely rewire the mind. And so by thinking, you know what, I'm clean, I'm safe because I made it 30 days, 60 days, 6 months, that you're solid, that is a weak mindset. And this is where a lot of people slip up. They think that they've completely rewired their mind because they've gone 30 days, 60 days, and before you know it, they relapse and they're right back where they were. Their mind was making tremendous progress in rewiring itself, but you forgot those old neural pathways are stronger than the new ones. Because you've been using substances, you've been smoking weed for years, for decades, and you expect 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to completely rewire your brain? Some rewiring is going on, but you got to see this as a marathon, not just a quick sprint. You got to know that you're in a fragile state, and you can slip back to this old lifestyle just like that. I've seen it time and time again. And that's why the relapse rate amongst all substances is so sad and so high. Whoa. My thing just fell right off. That's the truth of reality. So you got to give it time. You got to be patient, and the truth of the matter is if you're feeling comfortable, if you're feeling vulnerable, then you have to self-impose a new level of suffering on your life. Maybe you got to start, you're getting too comfortable. You got to start waking up earlier, pushing yourself harder physically, take up a new habit. Start, making sure that your house is clean, making sure that, where you live, your environment is clean. Whatever it takes, something to self-impose a higher level of standard. That way you're always growing, not going backwards like a lot of people. And that's why a lot of people just get weaker and weaker the older they get. They get fatter, they get more out of shape because they're not consistently pushing themselves to become stronger. All right? So guys, I didn't want to drag this out too long. I want to keep this short and simple and to share the raw truth of the reality. I'm proud of all you that have made it 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, but no, that's not where the journey ends. That's where the journey is just beginning. If you've made it 30 days, that ain't shit. Yes, that's something to be proud of, but that ain't shit. I'm just being raw and real, and I'm telling you the things that a lot of other people won't tell you. Because a lot of other people, they'll end up relapsing back down the road. Men lie, women lie, but numbers never lie. And, going through your whole life, trying, like most people are, obsessed with what other people think about them, which is what is the truth about what causes a lot of anxiety, is going to lead to a sad and a depressed life, and most likely being the relapse. But a life that creates self-respect through daily actions of doing what is required, not just what you feel like doing, that is what is going to create self-respect that is going to feel better than any amount of love anybody else can give you. It's the self-respect by doing what is required. Stop chasing what feels good and let go of your feelings and, I got to do this because it feels good, and start taking right action, impose discipline and right action in your life. And you're going to gain self-respect. And that is the most valuable thing in the world, to be able to have self-respect. So few people have that. People, rich people, wealthy people all the time, yet they're out of shape. And that tells me, they got big old belly. It doesn't matter how rich they are. That says a lot. Your physical body is one of the best resumes of yourself. That shows a lot about how much you respect yourself. Raise your standards and watch what happens as you start to push yourself. Continue to raise the standards. Don't get comfortable. When you find yourself getting comfortable, raise the bar even higher. Continue to push yourself further. Stay strong, guys.